two new signings this week and two pretty big statements of intent.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can see with the quality of player that we've introduced to the squad that we've got a definite intent as we had last year and in the future years to come. I think that's what happens at big clubs.
Just tell us a little bit about them two signings.
Well, we've got Tessel Medag, who's wealth of experience in the women's game. She's played down south and she's also represented her country. Kayla also as well, so they're both international players. Tessel being a midfield player and Kayla being able to play anywhere up front.
Is that your signings pretty much done? Or can we expect any more?
No, I think we'll always be looking for talent. We'll always be looking to grow the squad. We'll always be looking to strengthen the squad, just as any team will do come in future months and future seasons to come. So there'll always be that scouting network out there, identifying possible players that profile for Rangers Football Club going forward.
Just looking back at last season, I mean, you weren't too far away from Glasgow City, but how far do you think you are from closing that gap in them?
Well, I don't think there was much of a gap. I think we analysed at the end of the season as to where we felt that we had could have done better, and I think it's pretty simple that we didn't take care of those games. I think we'd a lot of possession in those games. We dominated those games, but we never managed to win those games. So it's all about winning. It's about 3 points, as we said last year. We never managed to do that, and this year we'll be hoping to correct that.
Last year was a bit of an unusual season. Obviously, you'd full professionalism, but you also had no crowds. In terms of this season, how do you think? What have you taken from last season? What can you do better this year?
I think first and foremost this year will probably be, hopefully, that the pandemic absolutely clears and we get some form of routine and we've not got the chopping and changing that we had and the breaks that we had. We certainly lost momentum from the last time that we played Glasgow City and had a fantastic performance and result out of that, and then everything shut down, which was devastating for us and our momentum. So hopefully this year, as we've started pre-season this year, we're 4 games into the pre-season. Hopefully we can continue that and keep the momentum running and take it into league and cup competitions and win games.
Also, in terms of recruitment, some of us aren't quite as au fait with the rules in the women's game as with the men's game. What exactly are the challenges and opportunities that you've got with regard to recruitment for this season?
I think it's very difficult to try and find players. It's easy enough to find players that have played with bigger clubs, larger clubs. If you look at the example, we have Tessel Medag, who's got a fantastic track record. But identifying talent that's maybe playing at a lower level in lesser leagues is difficult. We don't manage to get as much footage. And I think with the pandemic as well, it's really curbed us from getting out there and about to actually watch games. So hopefully this year, myself and the rest of the staff and the recruitment people will be able to get out and about and view some games and unearth some possible targets that might not have had the experience of playing with the bigger clubs. Which is not to say that we've had 6 of our youth academy players involved in our pre-season preparation this year, which has been absolutely fantastic. And not one of those, all of those girls that have came in have contributed, albeit that they're still young. They're still 15 years of age. We managed to play 15 of the six of those girls on the pitch against Everton for a good 30 minutes against them. So that was valuable experience for them. So it's a real integration at the club where hopefully we can bring in some of those younger players and bring them into the fold with Tessel Medags, Kayla McCoys, and also the Kirsten Rileys and the Nick Dochertys and all this, the ones that have been here since last year. So the club's in a good place.
Saying, is it a statement of intent, the signings that you've made? A lot of the signings have mentioned about joining the Rangers because of the project. Is that kind of the statement of intent that's at Rangers at the moment and what the project is moving forward?
I think Rangers Football Club the intent is there. Rangers Football Club's a big club, and will always be looking to improve and get better in recruitment and the style of play that we've got and winning games. So nothing changes in that regard. You know, being able to bring players with qualities like Jane Ross, as you mentioned there, Kayla McCoys and Tessel Medags is vitally important to Rangers and going forward and to challenging and winning leagues and cups.
Obviously, Rangers are always going to look to strengthen, as you've mentioned before, but that's some forward line going into next season, and you've still got Kirsty to come back, hopefully sooner rather than later. Just how happy are you with the forward line and the options you've got at the moment?
Yeah, well, last year was disappointing in that we lost over. You know, we lost Megan Bell, we lost Demi Vance. You know, we lost Kirsty Howitt, and it was difficult. And during the pandemic, it was then difficult to try and bring in players of that quality. So not only do we have Jane Ross coming in and Kayla and Tessel coming in, but Demi Vance will be back in. Megan Bell's not too far away, so there's and those, the Demi Vance and Megan Bell, as you all know, are quality players, exciting players, players that profile for Rangers, players that are going to entertain. Hopefully the gates open up and we can get the crowds in and start entertaining. So really looking forward to this season.
And talking about getting the crowds back in, I think obviously the campaign starts on Sunday with a cup game, but there's been Everton in pre-season, which was, I think, behind closed doors, but you've got Chelsea coming up, which hopefully fans may be able to attend. But when you look at the quality of teams that you're playing against, how important will that be, setting aside up for the league games coming forward, Everton and Chelsea?
Well, for the good pre-season, Mark, we've managed to get games that are testing us in different ways. We've had games where we've had a lot of the ball and a lot of possession, which again gives us different hurdles and obstacles to try and how do we use the ball? Do we use it quick? We've had games where we've had hardly any of the ball, where we've been put under the caution, having to defend, and that allied to our training and the methods that we use in training has got us to this level just now where we're just looking for sharpness now. We're really starting to put up the minutes in the players' legs. We're getting players back in. We've managed to get Tessel and Kayla out of isolation now, albeit they've trained this week. So we're in a good place. We're in a good place, and we'll be prepared and ready for the season ahead.
And last but not least, I think last season we spoke about players that were due to potentially play for Scotland, players that could break into the international squad. And lo and behold, Brianna was the one that broke in. She joined last summer from a 4th Division English side. How much of an example can Brianna be, both as the captain, the players like Brogan and other players that potentially want to break into that squad and players you might bring in further forward?
Yeah, I think it's testament what the club's about and the facilities that we have here, the coaching staff that we have here. That if a player profiles well and comes into our environment, they'll definitely maximise their potential. So again, when we're going back to the earlier question there, it's difficult to try and recruit because the visibility of female players isn't as high as the male players. But certainly what we have done in the background there is that we ensure that our methods and our training, our facility is at a level where it's going to improve players. I mean, we've still not mentioned players that are already in the squad. Brogan Hay has had a fantastic pre-season. Chelsea Cornet, fantastic pre-season. Rachel McLaughlin, and the list goes on. And hopefully I'll probably miss one of them out here, and they'll be caning me when I go back to training, saying that I've not mentioned their name. But there's competition in there now, and that's this year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough this year. We're going to have hard games, but we're hopefully going to have the competition within the squad to drive us forward.